Come on. Come on.
Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Hello, everybody.
As you can see here in the title, we are here to do another retro review. It is one of our favorites. It is The Amazing Race Season 1. This is Episode 2. So, just right off the top, Brian, loved it. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Great show. Great episode.
Great episode. So many cool things. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to run down, since it's the retro review, we are going to kind of run down chronologically in the episode as opposed to more of our reaction based when we do the live episodes, just for people for format's sake. They started off in Songway Village again, which was really cool. It was a really cool ending spot. I like these like really small village and town kind of vibes that I'm getting that they're going to do. The first challenge was to find the Songway Museum. So everyone hopped in the cabs and started driving around looking for street signs for the Songway Village. Turns out the Songway Village was the hut like 100 feet behind where they started.
Right. So good. Bill, real quick, when I was watching it too, like I was like, why didn't they think of that at all? You know what I mean? Like they all like fell on that margarita was like, I saw a sign and they just
saw a sign.
Left. They just left.
The first group just took off. And again, that's that idea of like thinking you got to stay ahead, because some of the middle groups were ones that actually were the first ones to find the actual thing by not rushing out and speaking to a few people. To be fair too, those first groups like leaving like dead in the middle of the night, there isn't any of the villagers aren't even awake. The people that left later, actually, if you stopped and talked to a few people there, they would have brought you right over. I like that that's something that they introduced, because I think hopefully these other contestants now going forward, maybe they will start to think about that type of thing. Like, hey, we need to make sure we're paying attention, ask. And you'll kind of see that throughout this episode too. Some of the everything's hints. I like that. And everything isn't completely spelled out.
It's
all cool. Allusions to landmarks to go towards an area. It's not saying to go to this, like the new season's like go to the street address.
Yeah, exactly. Like they give you the geolocation.
And there's also no GPS. So it's
actually
really
Bill, the tier them leaving, like the fact that the teams like did all that, it was like one. I wrote them down. So Rob and Brendan left at 11:23, and then some people didn't leave till like 3:55 a.m. Somebody left at 6 a.m. Like that's like 7 hours. You can make those type of mistakes and still like they still did well in this race.
It's not like 20-minute phasing, half-hour phasing like they do in current seasons. I 100% agree. So that was really cool. I just think again, it's just this element of realness and randomness that happens in real life and in travel. The detour was pretty cool. We both said that like this. It was taking pictures of wildlife on the safari. So you could either go to a far away one, which turned out to be really freaking far away, something like 90 kilometers or something outrageously far to take a picture of one elephant, or to go to a short one like 20 kilometers away and take a picture of 3 animals that they said would be hard to take pictures of. Turned out that it wasn't hard because everyone went that way, and there was the only person that had trouble was the mother and daughter. The mom couldn't get the film to work. How did you love that they were using Polaroids?
Yeah, so funny, dude. Just like what? It's a time capsule. Literally, this is literally a retro. This was a retro review of things we saw, like calling for planes, taking Polaroid pictures, like having to ask for directions. It had everything.
It's perfect. I love it. This episode and the Detour gave us one of my favorite reality TV moments I've seen in reviewing things for the Reality Guys. And that's when the tribal chief has to spit on you for you to actually leave. I said to you before, it was like, if you're a wrestling fan, it's like Triple H's spit. Where he's like, and especially from when this aired in 2001, that's prime Triple H territory.
And Bill, we're like, so we've done a ton of shows this past week. We've seen 2 of our favorite like moments in the past week. This and the ultimatum
choice dinner on episode 3.
Like, it's crazy. Like we're gonna do this power ranking of stuff at some point, but it's funny that we start talking about it. Like maybe we'll get one every week where it's like
the reality gods are being good to us. Hey, and we're barking up Juan Pablo's towards the end of his season, so there's got to be something coming, and we'll talk about that on another review. But it's just the gifts that keep on giving. There was a fast forward in this episode. You could go down the Zambezi River with a white water raft. Again, it's really cool that everyone was given the fast forward hint to start the leg. So it's a calculated risk, and it's really crazy that literally they were the only ones. What was it? It was
It was Pat
Pat
and
and
Brenda.
Brenda.
Yep.
Yeah, Pat and Brenda. And they pulled it off. Which was really cool. Nice whitewater rafting trip. And the next leg is in Paris, France.
Yeah.
This show is crazy. They zigzag. Crazy. It's like Carmen San Diego.
Yep.
It's all over the place. And then every season we watch, there's like a linear travel path. And I think that's more efficient for funding and all that. I like that they're just like, screw it. Where do you want to go? Let's go over there now.
Yeah. Bill, another thing I liked is like, Phil did a good job explaining some of the things, like episode 1. Like if you watching that show live, like he explained fast forward, because remember we were like, oh, can you use it? He explained it this time. He explained roadblocks. Like it was good because imagine if we were watching the show live, we would be like, what is he talking about? And there's probably the internet wouldn't have been the levels that it is now. So good on Phil. Good on Phil.
No, we wouldn't have had the armchair experts that we like really appreciate that everyone sets us straight. And they wouldn't have had those. So, and I agree with everyone in the comments from last week. Phil does look super young. Yeah, crazy.
He really does. Looks like a kid.
Kind of looks like the guy. He looks like the bad guy from Despicable Me if he had a wig on.
Yeah. Yeah.
with turtlenecks and scarf. Okay, so there was all right. So what's that team, the couple that you can't stand?
That is Paul and Amy.
So Paul and Amy and Kim and Leslie continued their feud from week 1 multiple times. So Amy really hates Kim and Leslie. She talked about like not liking them. Paul told him that he needs to, if they're going to fight, that he should make sure that she should punch them in the jaw or nose. Again, like you said, this toxic, like American, old 2001 hardness. And then continued later on when Kim and Leslie, I think, made one of my favorite moves when they bribed their cab and kicked them out, and they got the cab to go on, which may not have worked out for them later on, but I thought it was a ballsy move. And I love that these cab drivers were like, yeah, sure, screw, get the F out.
Give me more money. I'll take more money to go to the same place.
It's so classy. Yeah, to go to the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Team Guido. They got a lot of screen time this episode. So they were part of the first 3 alliance. They were with the lawyers, but also
Frank and Margarita.
Talking about ditching a team. Who was their other team?
Frank and Margarita.
Yeah, Frank and Margarita. They want to ditch them off the beginning, and then during this episode, they actually do ditch the lawyers when they get to Paris. How are we feeling about the Guidos? Are they taking it too seriously? Do we like how they're playing it? Are they? I think maybe a little too early for this kind of snakeness. What do you think?
It's definitely early, but they they said they lived in Paris for a while. So like as soon as they got there, they can ditch them. They know they were speaking French. They probably didn't even. They could have walked to. Yeah, they knew exactly where to go. So they probably knew it was Arc de Triomphe anyways before they even walked up. They probably knew exactly where to look. Just pulled out their own binoculars. It was like, oh, there it is. And you take advantage. I mean, it's a game show. It's a game show for money.
Game show for money. It's one of our favorite phrases. Also, this might be a good cardinal rule going off forward, especially if we're in the time capsule era. Make sure you have spare change on you. Change was going to be important for subways, for looking glasses. Brian, you have experience with the looking glasses.
Right. I have been to all the locations that they went to. They should have went to, and they should have not gone to in the Paris leg. I have been to the Eiffel Tower. I have looked out of those telescopes, and you can see. I don't know why they wouldn't have looked there anyways. There's always somebody up on the guide thing, like Arc de Triomphe right over there. If you want to take a look, it's usually the most crowded area on the Eiffel Tower, and even when they went to Notre Dame, like I don't know how Lenny made that mistake. I like him, so like I was feeling bad for him because like even though he was being like tough to his wife or his like fiance, he definitely was upset. Like I knew he was upset with himself, and he was just taking it out on her. Like he made a big mistake. So
I mean, since you were everywhere on this leg, what was your favorite part of Songway Village?
Oh, the museum for sure.
The museum. It's free. Sure. It's great.
It's free.
No crowds.
No signs.
No signs, no crowds. Just the way, but you do get spit on.
Right.
It's really hot, so they spit on you. Keep you
so good, man. I hope there's a GIF I could find. I could just play it all the time on this episode when I edit it.
There was, like we said, there's a lot of frustrations in it. Lenny having a pretty bad performance. But we like that the editing definitely screwed with us because Kim and Leslie lost. They did not indicate that at all. They made it seem like they were way ahead with scheming a cab. And yeah, they weren't the first ones to the tower, but they weren't the last ones they showed get to the tower. So very interesting. And I miss it. I like the rivalry that was brewing there.
Yeah,
and I missed it. I missed that. I don't know. I wonder, there's going to be some non-elimination legs though, because we figured that out. I think they said there was 8 elimination legs unless they bring that on later on and it's just a straight shot and there's 3 teams at the end. I'm not really sure.
Cool.
So.
Bill, like, I don't even know what was happening to Kim and Leslie at the end. Like when they're trying to get out of the cab, it's just like, he's like, I thought he said, I'm going to get the police, but like, didn't make any sense to me. I was trying to pick it up. Even with something else, I didn't get it. If anybody knows, please let us know. Commenters, clear up for us what happens with Kim and Leslie here at the end of episode 2. We both were watching, but we both kind of, it was a little bit, seems a little kind of a cluster. So people that know the outcome after the fact now, without spoiling anything after the fact, let us know what happened to them. If you know, if you don't, we'll probably figure it out in the previously on when we watch episode 3. Exactly.
But yeah, I love this. We will have episode 3 out. So this is going to drop on Wednesday morning. So you'll probably have episode 3, maybe like Friday, Saturday. Something like that. Maybe the weekend. It'll be by the weekend. You'll have it probably by the weekend. So we're enjoying it. We're kind of enjoying not burning right through it too, which is the nice. And
we had a busy Ultimatum came out. So that's really been catching our attention these last few days for sure.
We'll get back with it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate you watching. If you've made it this far, check out our other content. Maybe even if you haven't watched the shows, if you just like our take on this show, maybe you'll like our take on some other things you don't watch. We do live versions of The Bachelor, Survivor, The Challenge, like Brian had said, The Ultimatum, Love is Blind, The Circle, Temptation Island. We're doing retro reviews like This Amazing Race. We're also doing The Bachelor. Right now we're doing Juan Pablo's season. We do first episode impressions of random shows that people have suggested. So we have a few that people have let us know about. So we have some on the docket for that. But we're always open to suggestions for other things or people that you would want us to talk to. We actually have somebody too, Brian, I got to let you know about. We have another possible Bachelor interview lined up.
Ooh, that's news to me.
Actually, Waleed took that. I'm going to let you know about that, but that's a little tease for you guys. So we'll see if we'll let you know if and when that comes about. But for myself, Brian, Waleed, Kevin, thank you, everybody, and peace.